Previously on Survivor. Cooper's strategic game began to catch up to him as the Alexes and Kara realized he was playing all sides.
He's probably making final 3 deals with everybody. Just a really good liar.
That's so disappointing.
And in order to secure a new alliance, Thal exposed Cooper's game to an already concerned Angela.
He's just like the mastermind.
He's the mastermind for sure.
After another loss, the Maison 6 was full of social politics, and a missed text by Mitch to the wrong group chat sent trust out the window.
There's a lot of shady dealings going on.
Mitch the snitch, Mitch the, you know what, Mitch just sucks.
But in the end, the not-so-tight 6 chose to vote out Nikhil despite their inner turmoil. 14 are left, who will be voted out tonight.
So Tribal went as expected again. We all voted unanimously to vote out Nikhil, which I was really sad about because I really like Nikhil as a person and I always wanted to work with him, and it sucked that it didn't work out because I would have much rather voted out like Matthew or someone, but you know, what can you do? So when Mitch put that message in the wrong GroupMe, it definitely put it out there that there's sort of, you know, this line drawn between the guys and the girls, but I really don't think that that line is as clear as it seems to be.
If anything, I screwed over Nikhil because I think we were going to keep Nikhil.
I could see how from their point of view, though, they would want Nikhil gone, because they're like, hey, let's just take it off the table. The 4 guys could form up, and right now they've got us, and, you know, especially Mitch in a vulnerable position, where Mitch kind of has to do what they say because he screwed up.
The girls came off with a win on this one for sure, and hopefully they can use me to possibly get out the guys. I luckily have 2 of 3 solid relationships amongst the girls, being Liz and Leia, and if they feel like I've been open and honest with them, which I've honestly have, they could use me to get rid of Cam and Matt, who seem to be relatively close with each other. Well, I want to be completely clear. There were fractures in the 6 before I revealed this. The 6 is not a strong 6, and I showed that idiotically and not purposely. I showed that there is a lot moving within.
I don't feel that close to Mitch. I mean, I think for some reason he thinks that we're really close, and I don't think we're as close as he thinks we are. So I would be willing to get rid of Mitch. It's just I think that I can use him, and I think that Matthew, I just don't think is gonna want. I think Matthew and Cam totally think that they're playing the girls, and I think Mitch is more actually interested in working with the girls. I think Cam, I don't know what his game plan is. He's really quiet, and he doesn't, I don't know. I think he and Matthew have this bromance for sure. They're really close. And my immediate thought after I saw what Mitch had done was, this is my chance to, you know, get Matthew out. Because honestly, I don't think Matthew is ever going to want to work with me. He's never tried to talk to me, and he has his own game going on, and I just don't think that it really aligns with mine, so I would love to vote him out. I don't know, I don't really know how to approach it, but I think right now, just the only thing I can really do is just try to stick with this 6 thing and just hope that it works out.
You know, I think Mitch is just, you know, making the mistake of having a lot of information and only giving some of it to some people, a little bit to other people, a little bit to other people.
I think Mitch is getting his way no matter what.
And we all realize that he's, you know, telling these small little lies to each one of us.
I almost want to just leave the girls and go work with Matthew and Cam. I don't even care if I'm on the bottom of them because Matthew won't vote me out, but somehow keep Leia in. So anyways, I'm very frustrated. I think this tribe is silly. Voting out Mitch is the move right now. Nobody wants to make a move, which I understand because it's not sticking with the 6, but we're not a 6 when Mitch sucks.
I noticed I got a text from Brittany. She's like, Liz told her that Liz was in a confessional and she was, you know, talking, and the more she said things out loud, the more Liz was getting suspicious of, you know, Cam and I possibly. And I was like, what the hell? You're just how am I supposed to react to this? Liz brought up my name. That's the worst thing. Nobody should bring up my name. I shouldn't be on anybody's radar right now. I'm playing too well for this. Because, you know, Mitch has definitely got her, you know, under control, and he's feeding her, you know, his mind control. You know, anything that Mitch says, she'll believe, so.
That's certainly quite shocking. I was not expecting our names to be thrown out last week when we had pretty much only 2 options from the begin with.
Exactly. And she said, like, Liz like took a minute or two and then kind of like recanted and was like, oh yeah, you guys are right, that's kind of a crazy idea, let's just stick with what we've got right now. So, but it did sound like she was thinking about it, or at least was having some doubts.
Yeah. If you're asking for my opinion, I feel like part of that has got to be something that Mitch said, because
I agree.
I don't see how
Liz would do that on her own.
I don't see how anyone would be suspicious of you and I being like super close together unless it came from Mitch.
The reasoning she gave to Brittany was like, yeah, it might have been, you know, Mitch's fault that this got out, but, you know, Liz is saying, I think Matthew and Cam are really the people at fault. That sounds like Mitch talking to me. You know, it doesn't sound like Liz. It sounds like ideas that Mitch has implanted into Liz's head. Because at this point, you know, Mitch is feeling, you know, like the 3 guys probably isn't an option for him because he just exposed that. So he's like, well, how do I get Matthew and Cam off the table? Well, maybe I, you know, implant some idea in Liz's head and get Liz to do the dirty work and get Liz to bring up Matthew and Cam's name and see if he can turn things against us.
Like, I think the one good thing is though that like it proves that like me, you, Brittany, and Leia are like super like really tight, because Brittany and Leia were like definitely not on board with it. If they really wanted to, like they could have said yes to Liz, but they didn't. So that's good.
You know, I'm gonna keep my eye on Liz and Mitch and, you know, not say, hey, I know what you guys did, I know what you were plotting, and I don't like it. I won't say that, but internally I'm gonna be thinking it, and I'm gonna, you know, make note of it, and I'm gonna, you know, we'll get back to it. You know, you'll regret it.
So, because we won immunity, not too bad for this week. But if the tribe swap does happen at 14, we will have no idea which Alex has the idol at any point, and that is very, very scary.
Yep.
So I think the 6 of us need to try and meet at some point this week.
Yeah, definitely.
Or at least the 5 of us, because I don't really know if Kara's even in this game anymore.
Kara. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, right? Like, is Kara in this game? I don't even know. She's the only reason our texts are green.
Right. Well, I also want to talk about, does anyone have any idea where the idol is?
I have an idea where it is, I just don't know who has it. Well, it
has to have been found. It has to have been found.
One of us, or it's Kara or Angela.
I don't have it. I don't have it. Definitely don't have it. I don't have it.
The consensus right now between both tribes, kind of what I've heard from people on my tribe and Leia talking about people on her tribe, is that there's probably going to be, or we think there's going to be a tribe swap at 14. And this would also be a good time to do it just because one tribe is automatic. Like each tribe is going to have a majority on one of the 2 different tribes.
Because we're guaranteed to have a majority on one of the 2 tribes should we swap right now.
Yeah.
So that tribe with the majority should throw all the challenges so that they can just pick off the other.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
If there's not a tribe swap and we have to go to this tribal with the 7 current Nila members, the plan right now is that I'm still kind of sitting in between 2 groups of 3. So there's definitely Alex, and Kara are a very solid group of 3. And then me, Levana, and Akshay have kind of been a group of 3, and Akshay has been talking a lot to Angela. So it's kind of assumed that she would come with Akshay and Levana in that group. And so I've kind of put myself in between both of those groups so that in case we ever did have to go to tribal with the current group, that I would kind of be the swing vote and decide who I wanted to more like bring along or get rid of. I mean, I honestly, my game right now, I feel like I'm absolutely controlling the Nila tribe. I've put myself at every tribal in the most important position, kind of decided who's gotten voted out when, have connections with everybody on the tribe. I think I'm definitely kind of masterminding the tribe right now.
Want to scoot closer to me and we can pull that in too.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it still filming?
Yeah.
We've been waiting for a few days to see what the next challenge is going to be, and then all of a sudden we get a message from George.
So like the film.
Tomorrow is your next immunity challenge. It is also Survivor Summit. You must choose only 2 members of your tribe to represent yourselves at the summit for tomorrow's challenge. Your decision can be made at any time, but if 2 members of your tribe do not attend, you will forfeit the challenge. Summit will take place at 6:30 tomorrow. Location will be delivered tomorrow.
We're going to have to elect 2 people to represent our tribe and do something.
You must choose only 2 members of your tribe to represent yourselves at the summit for tomorrow's challenge. Only 2 people are going for this challenge.
At the summit for the challenge, so it's both.
Yeah. God, that's such little information.
Those 4 people are going to be doing the challenge.
Yeah. The only question is, are they doing it for Neela? Are they doing it for Maison? Are they doing it for both now? Like, I don't even know.
Like you're just gonna, those people are gonna like be picking tribes or something. But like I wouldn't, if I went, I would not even know the names of the people in the tribe.
I honestly don't know the names of the people.
I probably won't like say, like I'll come off like I don't necessarily want to, but I will reluctantly say.
Just
yes.
be like, alright, if that's what you guys
yeah,
want.
essentially that's what I'll do.
Yeah, works for me.
Yep.
I'm like, if it can't be me, I want it to be you and Tarowski.
Yeah.
Because that's just the safest option. It would have been Levana.
I just don't trust her to make strategic decisions.
I don't. I trust her to make an emotional or a
I don't
decision
trust her.
without
I don't trust her
thinking.
to like use her brain.
Yeah.
I mean, just based on
the challenge need, I think it should be you 2.
Me and
Yeah.
Cooper? I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just like purely challenge. I know Cooper is better mentally than I am, and I know you're better physically than I am. So
I think that sounds good. You guys? Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with that, for sure.
I wanted to go, but I didn't want to go because I didn't want to put myself out there as a target. It actually has like some like club, something like that. So it turned out to be Alex, one of Alex's, and Cooper, which I was like, okay, that's good.
I am definitely excited to see what this is.
I'm just super
I
curious,
want to see
honestly.
it firsthand.
yeah.
Cooper and I had already texted beforehand, and we wanted to make sure that we were the 2 going. I mean, I didn't necessarily care that it was Cooper, but
It's so stressful.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
Let us know what happens.
Yeah, if this
immediately
is it
after.
for Neela, then
It's
been
not
real.
it for Neela. We're gonna be the
Neela?
final 7.
Final
Don't
7.
worry.
You know what I meant.
yeah.
I was pretty sure it was going to be a swap. I ran every single scenario through my mind of what it could possibly be. It could swap, just a regular challenge. Like me and Cooper do a schoolyard pick for new tribes, something like that. But what actually happened was something I didn't even think to plan for. It really caught me off guard.
So George writes, we have Survivor Summit. You must choose only 2 members of your tribe to represent yourselves at the summit for tomorrow's challenge.
You think they would let those 2 people like participate in a challenge for like the new tribe or whatever?
I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be. Those 2 people are picking teams, like in gym class.
They would do that?
Oh yeah, it's happened in real Survivor before.
I feel like it might be safer
Here's my wife.
for Cam not to go, just in case. No offense, Cam, love you, but like.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'd take the swing off if I really had to.
Initially, I was really worried about the whole summit thing because I feel like I'm in a really good position on my tribe, and this seems like a setup for a tribe swap. And I was a little bit worried about which 2 people would end up going, because if it were like Matthew and Cam, I don't really trust them to tell me exactly what happened.
I decided it wouldn't be best for me to be one of the delegates just in case there is an actual challenge component to this, and I would have to sit out and risk having my tribe play down a person, myself, and Brittany and Jess, who also had other conflicts, were out of the running, so that left 4 people.
I can go. I can go. Just don't hate me for it.
Mitch actually volunteered to be one of the delegates, which is a bold move, but when you think about it, really isn't too surprising. After the whole fiasco last week where he accidentally texted in the wrong group chat, he's either feeling like he's on the bottom of our tribe in terms of trust and someone that's, capable of making mistakes. So he's looking for an escape or a possible advantage at this summit. Or he was also thinking I've got to do something to make up for my mistake. I got to make amends, get back in good graces with these people. So I'll be bold, I'll step up and take one for the team. So either way, win-win for Mitch. Not too surprising.
Which just pissed me off because I'm not a fan of Mitch. And I feel like Mitch, because of his mess up last week, like mentioning us as those girls and being with the guys over text by accident, I feel like he should have kept quiet, and it was wrong of him to even speak out in the first place.
Then it came down to a coin toss between Matthew and Leia to see who would also represent our tribe. Ended up being Matthew.
$20 says you do a challenge to see who picks first. They split the two teams. You do a challenge to see who picks first.
Plan of action is try to get as much out of them as possible and do what's best for Maison. Me and Matt met before. We both had the intentions of the decision we make today is what's going to help our tribe the best.
There's either going to be some sort of swap where we pick, or we're going to get screwed and swapped down to minority, or there's going to be no swaps. It could be a lot of different things, but I think we've thought out like most of them.
Yeah.
You really can't surprise us.
Alright, welcome to the Survivor Summit. Now you guys are itching to know what is happening today, but this is a summit. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to just talk, whether you want to strategize, introduce yourself, whatever, or you can sit here in silence for 5 minutes. Up to you. But I'm going to give you a couple minutes to talk, and then we'll get to the challenge, alright? Alright, and Mitch.
Alex.
Good to see you, Alex.
Mitch.
Matthew.
Cooper.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice too.
Nice to talk outside of challenges and
Yeah,
stuff like
a little
that.
bit.
So. Barely even knew your guys' names before.
Yeah, I know. I've had
Like
trouble
been-
myself with figuring out who everybody is on your tribe as well.
So how's it been going so far? It's been going well. It's been fun. But we're all still here, so that's yeah, a good thing. We've Yeah. all survived, what, 4 tribals now? Yeah. So.
Yeah. Who got voted out? Speaking of that, the last tribal.
We can tell them, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we voted out Nikhil. Okay. Why is that? If we could... Both our votes so far, Shay and Nikhil, have just been the people that have fit in the least and that haven't like talked to as many people. So that's kind of been like at the heart of it. Yeah, like no personal.
Yeah, it was
reason or
real. They were
anything like
both likable. It was really a matter of who's communicated with people the most. Shay, being a freshman, maybe have been a little timid to get to know us, and Nikhil just didn't do it.
So were the rest of the 7 of you like you all stuck together for votes? Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, pretty similar story for us. Except our 2 people were a little more of troublemakers than yours.
Yeah,
So,
really. Well, I heard about Jonathan. I didn't hear about the first one.
Yeah, her not as much, but she was definitely like lying to everyone.
Were your votes unanimous?
No. There's one person left who didn't vote with the rest of us.
So it
But
went like 3-4 first, or 3.
it was like
3-5.
6-3 and then 6-2.
Have you guys been doing much since travel, or has it been like?
It's kind of been a
You guys
lazy
have
2
been
weeks.
not gonna lie. Yeah, ours is kind of the reverse though. We had like a sort of like easy 2 weeks where we're just like getting to know people, but then like once we lost, it's like, oh, we actually got to start playing now. So you guys probably had that reverse and just got thrown into it right away. So.
Yep.
Well, it's time to get to today's challenge. It is a mental dilemma. The end of the challenge will be decided by you 4, okay? There's no aspect to this challenge besides making the decision between 2 choices. The first choice is you all 4 come together and decide which tribe loses the challenge and goes to tribal council. Essentially, 2 of you will have to forfeit immunity for this week. If you decide to do so and forfeit, if you go back to your tribe, you will also have a automatic vote against you at tribe. If you forfeit, you also have a vote against you individually.
Would the other people know that?
Yes. So, say Mila forfeits the challenge. Both of them have a vote against them at tribal council. They go to tribal council and vote one of their own off. And you 2, nothing bad at all. The second decision. You 2 and you 2 swap tribes. Both tribes go to tribal council, and all 4 of you are immune.
2 separate tribal councils or a group as a whole?
It is 2 separate tribal councils. I will flip a coin to decide which tribe goes to tribal council first. That's a good one. Last thing is, you will all cast a vote on your own to decide what the decision is. You will either write down Mila, Maison, or swap. If all 4 of you pick Mila, Mila is going to tribal council. If all of you pick Maison, Maison is going to tribal council. But if anyone disagrees, if any swap is written down, or any conflict is made within the vote, you're swapping. You must all come to a unanimous decision on it. Do you want long-term safety or short-term safety? You have 15 minutes to decide.
Would you guys be comfortable going to tribal? Like, is there anyone that you would vote out if you went?
I think we would both probably be in a good position. That being said, we don't want to vote out one of ours. If you guys had mentioned there's a person on the bottom, if you guys are willing to take the loss on this one, we can help you guys going forward.
Right. There is someone on the bottom, but
I'm telling you guys, if you swapped, you'd be a minority.
Yeah, I mean, same to you guys.
Same to you guys.
But the thing is,
immunity for
we'd be essentially us 4 would be safe for 2 votes because each tribe's voting 1 person off. So then it's down to 12. We're probably merging at 11.
Yeah, it might only be 1 vote that we'd have to survive on our own.
I think we can all agree that us 2 swapping you guys and you guys swapping to us is not in our best interest. I genuinely think that, and it would screw you guys over and it would screw us over as well.
I don't really like forfeiting though. I'm just gonna throw that out.
I
don't like it.
Just full disclosure, I got voted for the 2 people on the bottom voted for me, and I'm kind of shaky. So I'm kind of scared that if I have a vote,
I
and
get
then
that.
some other people flip, I could just be out.
I get that.
Yeah.
It would help us better if you could walk us a little more through the dynamics so we can understand why you'd be hesitant. Because if it's been so far picking off the 2 bottom, from my perspective, it seems like it's going to be the 3rd bottom.
I would hope so, but there are some people on the tribe that have been very flaky and have been lying to other people within our group. So I'm definitely not totally confident in these people.
In our position, ours is sort of the opposite, where it's like we don't have an obvious target, pretty much. Like we've all voted together, so it's like
we have a name, but it's not an obvious name.
Yeah.
Do you think you would get people on your side if you threw out that name?
We have not talked about that with them because we just got through a first tribal.
Right.
We were happy to get through last tribal and we weren't even thinking about the next one going forward.
But either way, it's going to be like somebody who feels pretty safe is going to at least get a vote against them.
And to be not so subtle, there's no way you guys can protect yourselves.
No.
Not for me.
Nope.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I don't. I can't speak for
Protect
me.
ourselves with an idol.
Oh. I don't.
No. Yeah, the only other thing I was thinking, if we both swapped, you said we'd probably be on the bottom, you don't see any way that we could integrate, you feel like the 5 people that would be left, with us, would be open to, something if we survive more than 1 vote? Or do you think they're, rock solid?
You guys would have a whole week, too. Because you guys are
and after a first travel, it'd be down to 4 to 2.
What I'm worried about is if we go to the challenge after those double tribal, it's going to be one of us, probably.
I mean, before that would be left.
I'm thinking if we were to swap and you guys were on our tribe and you went to tribal, we could tell our alliance to vote with you guys to vote out the person on the bottom.
I know where you're going with this. I like this.
Yeah. So
could you use names? Any chance? I don't mean to put you under pressure.
I'd be comfortable with it.
I'd be comfortable with just forming an alliance right here, just being truthful with each other.
And if you guys are willing, then we're willing to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the 6 that were together were us 2, the other Alex.
Okay. Is he the tall one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lavana.
Okay.
Akshay and Kara.
So Angela was kind of the 7th. Okay. And it's Ben with Jonathan the 7th.
So I'm thinking
we can talk to
Thal and Kara. So if you guys were in a 7, it would be you 2, Thal and Kara. And I think Thal and Kara would definitely be in for it because they don't trust any of the other people.
Fully.
I mean, I hope you understand. We've just talking to
Of course.
Yeah, right. We're just on
There's only so much trust we can put in you guys.
Totally
and
understand.
from what I hear, it seems like there's a possibility, but at the same time, I know that
it's just not the safest option for us two.
Yeah. So if we were to swap, would we
have
any
like
options?
any cover on your side? I mean, I feel like for the first vote, like we would tell you guys where the vote was probably gonna go, and then everybody else who was left would be like minus us two.
We could use names. Do you want to use names?
Sure. we can use names. So we would
guys
the vote would probably be Jess.
Jess. She
Um,
is blonde senior.
Yeah.
Without us, well, though, I'm trying to
to
think like without us two though, because to not like build ourselves up, like we have done a like okay job of keeping some people aligned.
Yeah.
Like without us though, if we're on a different side, like might they not trust each other as much?
From my perspective, if we went back to our tribe and started saying, hey, half of you start working with these two guys, it would not only look bad for us, but it wouldn't work out for you guys as well.
So the rest of the 6 of you guys, not including Jessica, you guys are very tight. Like,
yeah.
Would there be a couple people you would trust within the 6? Not you two that we could work with.
Thing would be though, like getting them to turn on each other might be tough. There are still certainly moving parts. It's not just like 6, you know. There's still a lot of moving pieces, but they would all kind of link back in a way that would not, I don't think, confuse.
I don't see myself today, and I don't want to speak for you because you can cast your own vote as well. I don't see myself putting myself in a situation where I'm going to try.
Then we're down to one of the two of us has to forfeit to go to tribal.
would you guys be comfortable doing that and voting out Jess or no?
That is your 15-minute discussion. It is time to vote.
What if everyone writes either Milo or Maison?
All right, here's how the vote works, just for a clarification, okay? If all of you write down a specific tribe name, that tribe is going to tribal council. Both people that are on that tribe at this summit will get a vote cast against them. If any other decision is made and it is not unanimous, you're swapping. All right, let's get to the vote. Presky, you come with me first.
So, you say both tribes go to tribal?
Both tribes go to
If
tribal.
there's a swap?
Yes.
And they vote out one person?
One person, yeah.
I don't want to swap. I really don't. Hopefully this goes our way.
I don't love the choice, but I also don't want to make Mitch and Matt mad. And I think Leia will be okay with this.
I know this goes against every Survivor rule, but I think long term it's best for my game, so I'm taking a chance here.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's vote. He's on. Second vote. He's on. Third vote. He's on. One vote left. Final vote. He's on. He's on. You're going to tribal council. Mitch, Matthew, you will have a vote automatically cast against you at that tribal council.
And our tribe knows.
Your tribe will know that. That's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So
cross tribal bonding.
Yeah. So thanks again, guys.
Yes,
For this. Yeah, you definitely
I hope it works in all of our best interests. I think
it does. I think it does.
I think it does too.
And swapping would have just been a lose-lose.
Yeah, there was no point.
Obviously, 15 minutes isn't a whole lot of time to really give a calculated, well thought out decision, but we did our best and ultimately tried to come to a resolution or a compromise that was best for Maison.
I know Cam because he beat me in the.
Cam's just ginormous. He's very tall, yes.
Okay, so look at that. Leia, Brittany, Liz.
This is Liz in the black.
Right. Liz.
Jess.
Jess, Brittany.
Okay.
How's
Yeah.
your essentially how's your 6 set up?
There are a lot of moving pieces, sir, and I'm still trying to figure it out as well. So just obviously take everything I have with a grain of salt because I may misread the dynamic.
I think me and Matt came out net positive on the conversation. So basically it started, they wanted to know what our dynamics were, why we voted out Nikhil and why we voted out Shay. And basically what me and Matt said was the reason is they talked to the fewest amount of people, they just were quiet, and that was honest and non-threatening as well. So that put us in a good spot. And they asked how the votes went down, and we explained that they were decisive votes, but signaled that it wasn't necessarily some big power cohesive Maison group, like that we would steamroll over them. That's what we didn't want to portray. It became very obvious that they do not have a cohesive group at all. They're very fractured, which is good for a Maison group that's very unified. By figuring out that they had half of their tribe on one side, half on the other, a lot of moving parts, a lot of people who don't trust each other, if us 6 Maison or 6 Maison going forward, if we can convince at least one of those people to come with us, all it takes is that one vote going in a merge situation to get them on our sides, and then Maison can take it strong to the end of the game.
Both tribes are going to tribal or just us? Only you. It's up to Matthew and Mitch to explain the rest. It is up to
All right, well,
the ideal outcome happens. It could not have worked out more perfectly. In order to make them concede immunity, I gave off the impression that Neela was very fractured and that it could have gone any which way had we gone to tribal, which isn't exactly true. There's some iffiness between some people in the tribe, but for the most part I could have guessed which way the vote would have gone, and I 95% confident I would not have been voted out, even though that's what I was telling them could have happened.
So weird. I can't believe that all just happened.
Yeah.
So everything else is normal?
For us, everything is normal. Wow. They're going to tribal this week. That's all we need to know.
I think we were always on top. We were just being low-key about it, And then we finally got to rise to the top for real. I do think that my tribe is a stronger tribe because we have closer relationships and alliances than the other tribe. You can tell they're really awkward with each other. And I think that's the death of their tribe, even though they have maybe physically strong competitors. But I'm ready to vote someone out. I just, don't want to keep anticipating that, but I'm so happy that I don't have to do anything right now. It's been good having a break. If we do lose though, that's not the worst case scenario. Yeah, and I think that we'll figure out a game plan as time goes along. I didn't think Alex, and Thal were a huge thing, but people are oh my god, they're the threesome. And me, Cooper, and Akshay are another threesome. I would be going after one of the Alexes, but we think one of the Alexes has the immunity idol, and that would mess things up if we went after him, because then something would happen that's not good for us. I wish I knew what that something was.
Once again, we won immunity. Tarowski and Cooper somehow convinced Matt and Mitchell, I think their names are, on the other tribe to award us immunity rather than swap tribes. I really don't know a lot about that tribe, and I don't trust necessarily everything that Matt and Mitch are telling Tarowski and Cooper, because I wasn't there. I can see their faces, and why put my trust in them? I've never really met them. So that's what's going on over there.
So I got back from the summit. This great thing happens with the ideal scenario. The other tribe gives up immunity to go to tribal and vote someone out, giving us an advantage. And I'm really happy with the way things are going. And then all of a sudden, I get this horrible pain in my back, and it just keeps on getting worse and worse. And then next thing I know, I'm just in the fetal position on the floor in our basement, in so much pain. And it takes them 2.5 hours to get me to a doctor.
Tarowski, who's stronger right now, you or this little Bitmoji over there? There's a Bitmoji who's legit lifting weights. He's bowing.
And in the meantime, I'm on the floor of the waiting room, squirming around. I'm crying. I mean, the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I finally get to see a doctor, and they tell me I have a kidney stone, which made sense, which is why it hurt so bad.
Dude, so I really got a good vibe from Mitch and Pat.
And I had to pee it out. And I just kind of stayed there until I peed it out.
Oh, your kidney stones?
Yeah.
You mean these ones?
Oh, ouch.
Nothing. My initial reaction is we get rid of Jess. But I like to think of myself as like an intelligent player, and I know that anyone who's comfortable voting off Jess thinks they're at the top of the group of 6. So my initial curiosity is who else thinks they're at the top, who thinks that they're at the bottom and is going to try and pull a move.
The safe bet for this week would be to vote off Jess. But then the thing is, yeah, if there isn't a swap or the merge soon, then we're gonna have, and we lose, then we're gonna have to start voting off each other within the alliance of 6.
And I'd prefer to get rid of somebody who we're just not that like close with versus somebody who we think is really threatening.
That's the thing. I don't want to like break trust like so early on right now, because then maybe no one will trust us.
Yeah.
And they'll think we're gonna try to get them out, and then they'll vote one of us.
So personally, I really don't want to lose Jess. Just because I'm one of the only people she's talked to. She's really only talked to Mitch and me, and so I feel like she's so useful because I don't think she necessarily trusts anyone else, and I think she would continue to vote with me.
I thought that Leia and I like got along kind of well, but then I heard like a couple days later that she was like talking about me and that she like might want to vote me out, so I guess not.
I definitely agree with you about Leia. 100, like she's like playing
Just like
really hard.
I don't know if your eyes on her.
No,
Yeah,
I don't either. I don't think anybody does.
So apparently the reason Leia gave for wanting to vote me out was because I was like, she wasn't sure how dedicated I was to the game, basically. For a couple reasons, none of which I am sorry for. The first one, I was late to the first challenge because I was watching my brother play in his first Division I football game. Not sorry about that. I was unable to participate in this challenge. Not sorry about that. And then I wasn't here this weekend because I have a long-distance, long-term boyfriend who I haven't seen in 2 months, and so I was gonna go visit him. Not sorry about that. So, yeah. It probably hurt me, but like I wouldn't take anything back, so whatever. If they want me to not do all of that stuff, then they can just go find other people to be friends with.
So since there is already a vote on Matthew, and I mean, I've been saying like I would like to vote out Matthew, and so this could be a good week to do it since there is a vote on him. Matthew's just like, I never know what he's thinking. He's like so serious. I don't know. I don't know if I could really like get him to build any trust at this point. I've at least talked to Cam a little bit.
Game plan this week is going to be very interesting. The obvious vote is Jess. She is outside the 6 from the start, and you would suspect that she would be the one to go. That being said, I get off a phone call with Liz after this conversation, and she says I'm not opposed to keeping Jess around and possibly voting somebody else off. So we will be talking later this week to see if Jess is the vote or if it will go some way else.
Liz makes it clear that she's not on board with Jess. And Brittany texts me in a panic, like what are we gonna do? Like, I really am not comfortable, like, voting for anyone but Jess. Like, I don't want to turn on Matt and Cam. And she brings up the OG squad, the original 4 that were together, that I haven't even mentioned this group of 4 to Cooper or anyone. Like, I had forgotten. The original group of 4 was me, Cam, and then Brittany and Matthew. It was those 4, and Brittany's like, we have these 4. And then Matt calls me, and he's like the 4 of us are still strong. He's talking about it like it's a for sure thing, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, like this 4. I honestly had forgotten about it. I'm not opposed to voting with them. I just didn't know that was going to be a thing.
the way I feel about Mitch is you're saying he went to the point of saying he would flip against Liz. That just doesn't even make sense to me.
Next week.
I mean, it could either be like he actually doesn't like Liz, or it could be that he feels like he could have some suspicion that the four of us are close and he just wants to make sure that like he has somebody that's gonna fight for him. I don't think he does. But
I'd say my relationship with Leia has probably never been stronger. We've been filling in each other. She's been telling me what's going on the girls' side. I've been telling her what's been going on the guys' side. Really right now, Mitch and Liz are our two main concerns. They're just accumulating a lot of power right now, especially with Mitch being one of the two delegates.
Upset's an understatement. I was like extremely upset and scared for my life. The fact that we were up 9-7 and now it's about to be 6-7. And I found out from Matthew that Matthew actually didn't do a lot of talking and Mitch was more on board with than him and doing more of the talking, being like, oh, like we're fine going to tribal, and that was just frustrating to me. Right now is a huge opportunity to vote Mitch out if we wanted to. Cam, Leia, Matthew, and I could put 4 votes on Mitch. That would make 5, and Mitch would go home unless there's an idol played, and that would be a huge move. It'd be my idea, so I would get that on my resume. A move I've been wanting to do for forever, and I'm just all talk, no game. But Liz actually messaged Leia and I tonight, worried about voting Jess out and wanting to get rid of a guy, so I know she's again going to try to gun for Matthew and Cam. So I honestly think as long as I can get Leia on board.
To be honest, I don't want Liz moving forward in this game. I really don't. If I'm not going to be in like a solid alliance that I trust her, I would be willing to move forward with her if it was me, Mitch, her, and either Brittany or Cam. That I would be willing to do.
If I'm being honest, I want Mitch gone this week. I just don't trust him as far as I can throw him, which is not very far since I have one arm right now.
I don't know. All I have to say is that I'm so annoyed that at the way beginning that I had to that Leia and I are just saying we're annoyed that we got Mitch and Liz into our alliance in the beginning because my relationship with Liz, I'm ruining it by voting out Mitch, but I want to vote out Mitch. So it's just I'm very, very conflicted.
I mean, it's a big decision.
I mean, we don't have to decide right now. I think it's something that
I definitely want to talk more with the girls. I want to hear if they're hesitant, then I'm going to be hesitant. If they're confident, then I'll be confident.
Yeah.
I later texted her basically saying, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm going to stick with voting for Jess, and she responded that she agreed and that she was on board with Jess. So we were both under the understanding at that point that we'd vote Jess this week, and then it would be 3 girls plus me in the scenario where we had to vote off amongst the 6 of us.
I've taken a new approach to this game, just sort of. So I decided to, try to put myself in the role of a special agent. Kind of run this game like the CIA or the FBI or some tactical operations. So my code name, I was going back and forth. Maybe the Kingpin, maybe El Jefe, maybe the Big Kahuna. But I was thinking those sound a little self-righteous, a little too arrogant. So I went with something just a little bit more toned down. So I was thinking, Survivor's a jungle. This game is a jungle. What's the king of the jungle? The lion, which is me. Because I'm the king of the jungle, and I'm fierce, and I'll kill anybody who gets in my way. But I'm also, prideful, and I'll protect people that are close to me. And, a lot of times the lion just kind of stands there and watches over his kingdom. But then when somebody tries to take a shot at him, the lion strikes back and I'll clip him.
Alright guys, welcome back. Brittany, Mitch and Matthew went to the summit this week, but came out of it with another Maison challenge loss. How did it feel knowing you didn't have a say in how that went down?
Yeah, I mean, it sucked that I didn't have a say. I wasn't able to go because I had a commitment during it, but after finding out what it was, I realized that I would have made the exact same decision that they did, so I was okay with that decision.
Was there anyone that wanted to go that didn't go?
I mean, I probably would have like thought about going, but same with Brittany. I also had a commitment, so I couldn't. But I mean, it was intriguing to me.
Matthew, what happened at the summit that led to Maison losing in the first place?
So basically, we were open about what happened with the summit and told people, what went down. And basically, Mitch and I went and we were faced with a choice and a challenge. And ultimately, the outcome was us losing. But I feel like it's not a bad thing, even though some people might feel bad that, Mitch and I went and they didn't get a chance to go and we came out with a loss. But I feel like, the outcome was the outcome and it'll all turn out the best, I guess.
Well, Liz, operating under the logic that both of them wanted to come here, why do you think they would choose that decision given they'd also have votes coming their way?
I mean, I think that there are there's a lot of trust and strong relationships on this tribe, and so I think that Mitch and Matthew felt safe enough coming back for tribal council. I mean, they must have felt safe enough if they were both going to have a vote against them, that they would rather stick with us than switch to the other tribes. So I think that says a lot about trust.
Leia, do you think that comfort is disconcerting in any way? Do you think maybe they have too much trust?
I mean, in these, every time you ask that question at tribal council, it's nobody wants to admit to being uncomfortable. But when you're given a choice, I mean, you gotta make the decision that, to the best of your knowledge, is the right decision for you. And if they have faith in relationships, then I guess that's that.
Jess, how do things change now that Mitch and Matthew already have an automatic vote coming their way tonight?
I mean, I can only speak for myself, and personally it didn't really change the way I was feeling about going into, if the thought of having to maybe go into tribal this week, if we lost the challenge, it didn't really change the way my gameplay was, I suppose, just because, I don't know, yeah, you form relationships, you're close with some people, I don't know. So to me, it didn't really affect anything.
But Cam, if we have unanimous votes each week, and now there's 2 votes out in the atmosphere, do you think people are going to take advantage of that?
Well, I mean, there's really 2 ways you could look at this situation. I mean, Matthew and Mitch both have a vote, so you could take advantage of that fact and gang up on them and kind of throw more votes their way, which would be the easy way out. But then you also have to look at it personally for yourself and see if maybe your relationships with those 2 people would be worth something more down the line, and whether you could take advantage of that, rather than just advancing yourself one more week in the game. So it's really a toss-up, which way people want to go with that.
Well, Mitch, speaking on unanimous votes, Maison Tribal Council seem to have resulted in just 1 member of the tribe completely on the outs, while the rest were in all on the plan. We're over a month into this game. Is it really just about who hasn't talked the most?
I think it's about keeping numbers going into a merge situation, and I think there's a lot of moving parts within this group, but as a whole, we want to take as many people with us as possible. So it's less about dividing the tribe and more about trying to stay as united as possible.
So Brittany, how do you know you're not the one going home tonight? It seems each week the Maison tribe waltzes here to tribal council, completely content with their position on the tribe, and then one person was clearly out of the loop. Why isn't it you this week?
I mean, now I'm starting to analyze that question, thinking maybe it is me this week. I don't think it's me this week, just based solely on all of the relationships that I've worked really hard to form over the past month. And even though it appears to an outsider perspective, doing the same thing every week, you do have to work hard to form these relationships in order to stay in the game.
Liz, if history has any indication, there has to be a leader or people taking charge or alliances in some right in a tribe. Who's leading the pack?
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting question. I think the thing is, I know this is a boring answer, but I really don't think there is a leader. I think there are a lot of different relationships going on, and I think it's not, I think there are just, I mean, I think that there are definitely people who are closer than others, and I think, it'd be, I mean, obviously we've had unanimous votes, so there are some alliances. There's no way that there are.
Matthew, who are those people that are closer?
Well, first of all, I think the guys and the girls have sort of just the 3 guys and the 4 girls are just bound, just by gender and stuff like that. And so they're obviously going to be closer. So looking at the way things are right now and the fact that there are 4 girls and only 3 guys, the fact that I have an automatic vote against me does make me a little bit nervous. So I think those are some groups that are forming, which is why I've tried really hard to make relationships with some of the girls that I think might protect me in case they all try to gang up and take out the guys and utilize an automatic vote against Mitch or myself.
Leia, is there a guys-girls thing? Put it out on the table.
I think it's really interesting that you brought this up because I think it's, I mean, obviously, like, we're college students, like, we're playing a game together, there's a lot of emotions. I think it's really interesting how romance has actually played a big part in the way that the dynamics of this group have gone moving forward. There's definitely, like, I thought it was a love triangle, but I think it's more of like a love, like, quadrangle or something like that is, like,
Square.
more accurate.
Yeah, square.
That's, yeah.
Okay, can you touch on that?
I actually shouldn't say.
Does anyone have an opinion on what this love square is? Brittany, you're laughing a lot.
Oh,
What
wait, is
this?
I misspoke. I should have said Polygon. I should have said Polygon. Love Polygon.
Brittany, who's in this? What's going on?
How many is a polygon?
A polygon is just multiple sides. It's not a specific
anything more than 3.
I can't.
Mitch, do you have any clue of what's going on right now?
George, you're the only person I love in this game.
Kim, who are these showmances?
I mean, it's definitely not me. I'm as single as a Pringle over here. I was kind of baffled by Leia's statement. I'm gonna be honest. If there's an actual romance here in this group of 7, it has not been told to me.
All right, well, before we get to the vote, I want to talk to Matthew and Mitch just because you guys both have votes. Matthew, give me a pitch to why you should still be here after this tribal council, even though you have a vote coming your way.
I mean, so far, the way it's gone so far in tribals, the person that, has gotten votes against them is sometimes the next to go. So if I'm the easy target, if I'm the person that's always getting votes against me, keep me around to take the target off your back.
Mitch, same question.
I think the decision that me and Matthew made was in the best interest of Maison as a whole. And now I don't want to say they should reward us too by saving us this week, but I think they should remember that our objective wasn't selfish and that we were willing to take this risk for ourselves to bring as many Maison to the merge as possible.
All right, well, this is kind of a Maison staple at this point, but I'm going to ask the question. Who feels safe tonight? Liz, Jess, you raise your hand. Liz, why?
Okay, so like I said last week, I trust the people that I've built relationships with, and I think if I'm going to trust people, that means that I trust that they're not going to vote me out, and I actually genuinely believe that they won't, so.
Jess, same question.
Pretty much the same thing. Just like inherently, I believe like the good in people, and so I really do believe in the relationships that I personally have built and people that I have talked to, and it's probably to a fault, but I trust them. So.
Well, Nikhil and Shay felt the same way, but someone's got to go tonight. Let's get to the vote. Matthew, you're first.
It's a numbers game.
All right, I'll go tally the votes. All right, if anybody has a hidden immunity idol and they would like to use it, now would be the time to do so. Alright, once the votes are read, the decision is final. Person voted off will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. Read the votes. Since Matthew and Mitch already have a vote, I will count those right now. Matthew has 1 vote. Mitch has 1 vote. Jess, 1 vote Matthew, 1 vote Mitch, 1 vote Jess. Matthew. 2 votes Matthew, 1 vote Mitch, 1 vote Jess. Jess. 2 votes Matthew, 2 votes Jess, no Mitch. Jess. Jess. That's 5 votes. Right, that's enough. Fire your torch. Jess, charm is spoken. Alright, well, she raised her hand, she felt comfortable, she still went home. You 6 have stuck together for the past 3 votes. Next time you guys come here, it won't be the same case. Have your stuff, head on out.
Next time on Survivor. Tensions are running high on either tribe. And for some, a twist in the game will make things go from bad to worse.
1, 2, 3, reveal.